Welcome back, fellow Dream Warriors, to Riderpiece Theater. Me, Alistair Dayhawk, and tonight, me proud to present Kamen Rider Zeztz, Episode 8. So, our story begins with Baku dressed as a chef assistant. You see him cooking and he is stirring the soups while you see, another chef assistant and the head chef, Chef Sano. And we get a scene where the chef assistant approaches Chef Sano and asks, "Can you try the sauce?" He tries it and he says, it's missing the royal touch. And the assistant asks, "How can it be possible when I followed the recipe to a T?" And we get a scene where the head chef makes his sauce and pours it on his plates. And he presented him, with, the sauce. Like, "Hey, can you try it? Try it. Go ahead." And this causes the assistant to, be disgruntled after the tasting. And he's like pissed off, like, "I don't know what you mean by the royal touch. What's going on?" Like, he mumbles to himself, like he's pissed. And as he was being pissed, Nem shows up with a basket full of vegetables, and we get to see Baku being all Casanova. He presents her with a drink inspired by her, and then Chef was, being all mean to Baku as, "Hey, like, you should be, stirring the soups. What are you doing over there talking to some girl?" And Baku's like, yes, chef. And then all of a sudden, before Baku goes back to his post, the chef assistant suddenly collapses. Baku and Nem attends to him while Chef Sano just stood there and does nothing. And then we see his mind's doors. There's 3 of them. One of them is already open, while the second one is what we see is it's opening up. So that means there's a third and final door that needs to be opened. So after the opening credits, Baku is taking pictures, like he was a cop, taking pictures from the scene of the crime. And his mission for this week is to find and destroy the bioweapon. And Nem is offering her help in, helping Baku with his mission. And Baku, is happy to have her as an assistant, where he takes her into the spy room where she meets Zero for the first time. And you see Zero, presenting her with the rose, which causes Baku to give that look on his face like, "Zero, that's my girl. What the hell are you doing presenting her with a rose, especially in front of me?" So he acts like an overly protected boyfriend. Like, I'm surprised that they didn't have an additional scene where Baku is, being like, "Why are you doing giving my girl roses? Like, that's my gig. Like, what are you doing?" Just to make the scene even funnier. But in any case, Baku and Zero are talking about the mission while we transition to Nem, who approaches to the capsule machine and gets a new capsule. We don't know what it is yet, but she was like, "Oh, what is this?" and whatnot. And we immediately go back to Baku and Zero. And Baku is having a terrible time trying to find the bioweapon. Zero said, "Well, when in doubt, like with every mission, you have to find the mind's doors. If you find the doors, it will be easier for you to defeat the nightmare and the case is closed." So he suggests, like, instead of trying to find the bioweapon, go try and find the mind's doors. And then, Baku says, so it all points back to Sano. And then he gets a phone call from Mulder, causing Baku to wake up in the real world, which happens in the next scene. Baku wakes up and picks up the phone, and Mulder tells Baku that he has discovered a new black case. And so they were going to meet once again at the spy room, which they do. And they report that the assistant, that the same assistant that collapsed in the dream world also collapsed in the real world. And they don't know, the agents don't know the root of the problem. Like, what was the cause of that man and the other assistant? Because there's two that collapse. They ate something, but they don't know, okay, what's the ingredients? Is it poison? They don't know anything. And so the only clue that they have is that they were both in this restaurant called the Royal Shirogen. The Royal Shirogen. Again, they don't know the cause. And what makes matters even worse is that they are catering to this leadership conference. Now, you know what that means. Leadership conference. It means world leaders coming together and talk politics and whatnot, make agreements, whatnot. If a leader of, let's say, Japan eats, whatever food, the restaurant gives, and he collapses, that means war. So, yeah, it's really, really bad. And so Mulder and Scully's mission as of right now is to go to the conference while Baku investigates Sano in Dreamland. So as the agents leave, Zero, reverts back to his robot form, and, he presents Baku with a new gadget, which helps him to disguise his identity and to help him, analyze anything that has a substance in it. Like, for example, if I were to use this said gadget on tacos, it will tell me, hazardous if it has something bad in it. If not, then it's safe. So it's a very good item to have in this mission. And then Baku and Zero, went out from the spy room into Baku's room, and Zero presents him with 2 tickets to the restaurant. And the scene ends with Minami shouting Baku's name, and Baku's like, "Oh crap, you're in my room. I need to put you back into the spy room." And Zero's like, "What the hell are you doing? Why are you pushing me back into the room? What's going on?" And Baku's like, "Shut up, just go inside in the closet. Just don't come out, please." And that's how the scene ends. And come on, Zero, you should know this. Minami doesn't know about your existence, let alone that spy room. Can you imagine if Minami just enters Baku's room unannounced and sees her brother talking to a talking motorcycle robot, an Autobot, to make it short? It's just, what the hell? Like, Minami will know the truth either in the tail end of the second arc or most definitely in the third arc. Right now, we're in the first arc. So right now, people like Mulder and Scully and Minami are not meant to know the truth just yet. So, yeah. Zero, come on. You should know this. Come on. Okay. So we move to Mulder and Scully, and Mulder is begging the vice minister to please do not let this restaurant cater to your conference. But the minister said that the president of some foreign land requested it, so there's nothing much that he can do. But Mulder insists, can you please postpone it or beg the president to not use their catering service? Please, this is a black case here. And then you have Scully and the director behind him, and the minister's like, look, everything is going to be, the same. I'm not going to allow you or anybody else to disrupt this conference. Goodbye. I'm kicking you out. And Mulder being frustrated and angry, just dashes away while Scully and the director just looks on. Like, yeah. So we go to Minami and Baku, where they're dressed up to the nines because they're entering into the fancy restaurant, the Fufu restaurant. And Minami is wondering, how in the hell did you get your hands on invitations to this fancy restaurant? And Baku, it's a lie, yet it's not a lie, that he has a part-time job and he met him and he gifted him, tickets to go eat at his restaurant, all these things. And Minami heard, like, wait a minute, so a part-time job? And she adds, like, are you helping people in this said job? And Baku, like, is on his knees and be like, please, I'm begging you, Minami, this part-time job doesn't require me to help people. I'm okay. I don't want to be electrocuted by UFOs or step on duty. Like, no, trust me, it's not what you think. And Minnie was like, okay, as long as you're not helping people, all right. And can you blame her? I mean, she doesn't want her brother to die, okay? So it sounds like a douchebag thing to say that, well, I don't want you to help people. I'd rather you work at a job that doesn't require you to help people than you helping people, because we all know what happens when you try to help people, however big or small. Something bad happens to you. I don't blame her. I really don't blame her. And so after that awkward talk, they go eat, and Baku is just taking pictures of food to make sure it's safe to eat. And once, he took his picture of his food, it showed hazard, which means that Baku was like, yeah, I found it. And I think I know what it is too. So he immediately calls Mulder and just asks him, hey, is this set played in the menu for the conference? And Mulder said yes. And Baku ends the call with, I think I found a nightmare. And Mulder hangs up and just runs out of the building, and you see Scully and the director looking on. And Scully asks a very good question, which everybody in the audience has been wondering since the pilot, is why is he obsessed with black cases? Now, the director didn't give a great explanation other than, Mulder had a partner before you and he mysteriously quit after a year, and he assumes that it's a black case. Yeah, that's exactly what it sounds like. For those who've seen the episode, which I hope you guys did, he said it. It's in the subtitles. And I'm just like, Yuya, I don't know. Maybe you're telling us that there's more to it than it meets the eye. And I believe so. It's just that explanation, it just sounds so, like, really? After, his partner mysteriously quit after a year, he assumes that it is a black case, like a nightmare caused him to quit. It has to be more to it than that. I'm not saying that it wasn't a black case, but it's just the way it sounds, just like, are you sure he didn't just quit because, I don't know, he didn't like the job or he sucked? I'm just saying. So we move to Baku. He returns to Dreamland, and he breaks into the Fufu restaurant. But before he enters through this door, he gets greeted by Nam once again with a basket full of vegetables. And Baku's like, oh, Nam, I didn't expect you here. He's acting all cool and all, but we all saw that he got spooked by Nam. Come on. come on, Baku, you can't fool me. You can't fool the audience. You got spooked by her, and you're just acting cool, just leaning against the wall. I'm like, hey, Nim, what's up? Oh my God, Baku, you're too much. And so Nim shows up with a basket full of vegetables, and Baku notices the new capsum that's in the basket. And he's like, wait a minute, this capsum is not a vegetable, even though it looks like it. And Nem explains, what happened in the flashback. And we get into the flashback where Zero gives her not just the capsium, but also the same gadget Baku uses to identify what capsium it is. And Nem tells Baku that her new capsum is the recovery capsum. It has the ability to heal. And so, after that introduction, they both went inside the kitchen where you see pots full of the royal sauce. You see Chef Sano making the sauce. And Baku is telling the chef, hey, you cannot make this stuff anymore. It's poison. And the chef asks Baku, did someone poison the sauce? And Baku answers, no. The sauce itself is poison, which causes the pots to react. And you see all this green sauce. And it looked like it was trying to attack Nem and Baku. However, Baku uses the stream capsum to repel the green, the monster blood back, and it reveals, the poison nightmare. It revealed himself. And so we get to a new scene where Baku transforms into Zeztz dream and fights the nightmare, which, by the way, the poison nightmare uses this acidic monster blood as its attacks. And you see all the acid, burning the pillars, and Baku's like, oh, how unpleasant. And then you see the nightmare trying to kill Nem, which Baku, in the nick of time, saves her. However, he got exposed by the poison. And you see it, you see him reacting negatively and all that stuff. And as Baku, is, affected by the poison, Nox makes his appearance, and I have to say, Nox really loves to hear himself talk, because every time we meet up with Nox, he is talking and talking and talking. He likes the sound of his own voice. But anyways, Nox presents himself, and he speaks in riddles once again. And he says, when one spends too much time in a half-dreaming state, one can fail to notice unexpected nightmares. And Baku's like, what the hell are you talking about, dude? Once again, you're speaking in riddles. But then he notices Chef Sano in pain. He looked like he was having a heart attack, which causes Baku to be all confused. Like, I don't understand. Why is Chef Sano dying when he is the dreamer? What is going on here? And then we transition back to his mind door, at least the third one. We don't see it opened yet, but it's still closed. So there's still time for him to be saved. However, you see him clutching his chest as if he is having a heart attack. And so Baku uses his new capsum recovery, and he transforms into Recovery Zeztz. But instead of healing himself, he tries and attend to Chef Sano to heal him first. But of course, the nightmare interferes, fights him for a little bit. And all the while, back in the real world, you see Baku sleeping, and he is in pain. So you see the negative effects of that poison having an effect on him. And you see poor Minami stumbling into his room, and you see her trying to make her brother wake up, but she cannot. And as that stuff is happening in the real world, Baku, fends off the nightmare for a while. He attends to the chef. He does his healing magic onto the chef, while at the same time you see Nox looking at this and sees something that he wants. And he says, I found it. And then the episode ends with Baku being transported to some part of a hospital. It looked like a surgical room, and you see him collapsing because of the poison attack. And Nem is trying to, shake him up, like, are you okay, Baku? Are you okay? And he is not responding at all. Meanwhile, back in the real world, the same thing is happening over there. Poor Minami is trying to make Baku wake up, but then all of a sudden she's like, wait a minute, why isn't he not breathing? Which causes her to call 911. And all the while you hear Nox in the background echoing these words, if a nightmare kills you, then you die in the real world as well. And that's how the episode ends. So yeah, this is Freddy Krueger all over again. If you get killed by him in the dream space, then you die for real. And we all know that Baku's going to survive. He's going to be dead temporarily. And I believe this is where Nem comes in and really, see, what she could do to help save Baku. Because right now, she is the only one who can help Baku, because the agents cannot help. Minami cannot help. So maybe Zero could help. But as of right now, it all points to Nem to come in and try to save Baku. And of course, he will, because he has plot armor. He is the main character of his own show, so there's no way he's gonna die this soon, right? It kind of annoys me where the writer decides to pull, the main character into death, knowing that, well, he's gonna be back. I mean, he is the main character. He has to. He's the main star. In any case, that's how the episode ends. And yeah, it's a nice twist to that ending. Seeing Baku dying before our very eyes, getting the Freddy Krueger treatment. And we still don't know why Chef Sano is, at least his subconsciousness is acting this way. Why is he killing off his assistants in his dream to the point where he is, I don't know, killing himself? It doesn't make any sense, but all will be revealed next week, right? And yeah, I mean, there's nothing much to say, and and that's it. If you watched the episode, which I hope you guys did, give me your thoughts and opinions about it. Did you like it? Did you dislike it? Did I miss anything? Even though I have my notes in front of me, I may have missed a couple of things here and there. You never know. Give a like if you like it, and please subscribe because it really helps. And I will see you all on the other side of Oblivion. And I have to say happy Halloween, because next week, next Sunday, Halloween will already be past. So I want to say happy Halloween now before, I miss it in next week. But any case, thank you so much. And I'll see you all on the other side of Oblivion. Happy Halloween and Johnny.